Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to configure a free AppExchange package from Blue Ninjas called Update County based on postal code automation. So what this package does is it installs 3 county fields on your leads, accounts, and contacts, and then it has an automation that runs to update that county based on the value in the zip code field. It's pretty cool. So let's hop over to Salesforce and see how this works. Our first step is to install the package into our developer sandbox here. You can find the link to this package in the description below. There's also a link to the how-to article from Blue Ninjas if you prefer a written article that shows you the step-by-step instructions of what we're going to go through. You will click Get It Now. You will enter in your credentials. Click Confirm and Install. You will enter your credentials again. We're going to install for all users. Click Install. And then our installation is complete and we will click Done. We can see here our package was successfully installed. And then we can see here's the link to the Blue Ninjas how-to article. If you'd like to view the components that were just installed, you can click the View Components button. We can see that there are 4 different flows that were a part of this package. We do have a custom object that's called Postal Code County Mapping. This is the object that's going to hold the relationship between the postal code, the county, and the state. We will be loading those records. And then we can also see that we have 3 different county fields. We have the billing county for the account, the mailing county for the contact, and the county for the lead. So our first step in the configuration is just to go check out the flows and make sure those are all active. So you will type flow into the quick find, go to flows, and then we should see the 4 flows. I have mine sorted by last modified date so that I can see the most recently modified flows that have come into this org right here on top, and they are all active. So we are all set there. Your next step will be to go to your lead, account, and contact page layouts and add the county field. So we'll go to the account page layout. Our billing county is right here. And we will drag and drop it down here. We will go to the contact next. We will do the same thing. We will drop the mailing county down here. Next, we're going to do our lead. And we will drop county right here. Our next step is that we need to load in our zip code data. Now we are in a developer sandbox, so we only have so much room to test with. We are only going to be loading the zip codes for the state of Florida. If you need a zip code file, you can find that on the Blue Ninjas website. There is a link in the how-to article. Let me show you that here. If we scroll down here, we have a link right here. Now this file is not the most up-to-date, most recent version of the zip codes that are in existence. So zip codes are constantly being added, constantly being removed. We have not found a file that is going to help us keep this all up to date, but we will be able to show you how you can manually add a zip code if it is missing. And we are going to use Data Loader to load in these zip code records for Florida. I'm going to open up my file and show you what this looks like. So here is my zip code file. It's got more columns than I need, which is okay. I will only map the columns that I need to. You want to highlight the zip code column here, and we just want to make sure that it is formatted for zip code. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that the zeros are in front of the zip codes that need them. Otherwise, you'll be loading 4-digit zip codes from this file. All right, so we will apply the formatting, the special formatting to the zip code. We will save the file, and then we are going to import this. So we will do an insert, and we will look for the postal code county mapping object, and then we will browse for our file. We will click next, and it says we have 1,495 zip codes in our file. And then we will do an auto match to see what we can get matched. All right, so we've got the county, we've got the state, and then we are going to map the city. You don't have to map the city if you don't want to, but it's kind of nice to have if you need to add an additional zip code. All right, so you need to map postal code, state, city, county, and that's it. You'll hit next and finish and yes. Okay, so this says that everything has been loaded successfully. So now let's go back to Salesforce. And we are going to look for the postal code county object, and we do not have it. That means we need to create a tab. So let's come back here and create a tab for this. We'll go to setup and we'll click tabs. We'll click new. We'll look for postal code county. I'm just going to leave this on for all apps because this is just a sandbox that I'm testing in. But you may not want to enable this tab for all of your users because they just don't need it. Okay, so I now have a tab, so I should be able to find it over here. Okay, perfect. Okay, here are all the zip codes that just got loaded. I'll click on the auto number here, and that record looks good. Now, just while we're here, we can show you how you can add a zip code. Super easy. So what I like to do is find a zip code that's in the county and city that already exists, and then I just clone it and I change the zip code that needs to be added. So if we had 32408 that we needed to add in Panama City Beach in Bay County, Florida, you could just clone it, change the zip code and save it, and then that zip code would be there. Okay, and that's all. We're all set. That's all we need to do to start testing this out. So let's go to one of our leads, and we need to do a couple of things. We need to test and make sure the application is working, and then we also need to run a mass update to all of our existing records. So we will go to Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo does not have an address, so I will put in an address here. Okay, so what I would expect to happen is that the flow is going to look up this zip code on the postal code county mapping table, and it's going to update the county here. So I'll click save, and it did. So I can see Hillsborough was updated. Perfect. If you want to test changing that to a different zip code and making sure that the county gets updated, you can. So I'll change it to 32653, and it updated to Alachua. So we are all set there. We're going to do the same thing on our accounts and contacts. So I'll come over here to Daniel Inc. And this one currently does not have a billing county because this was an existing record. So we do need to run a mass update here. But let's go ahead and change this to 33596. And we should see that go to Hillsborough. And it does. We will do the same thing on our contact. We will change this zip code, do the same one. We expect the county to go to Hillsborough, and it does. So everything's working perfectly for your users to start using this once you deploy it to production. But let's show you how you can run a mass update to all of your existing records in your leads, accounts, and contacts. So we're going to go into Setup, and we're going to go to Flows. You will click Flow. And then we're going to go to this first flow here for leads. We're going to open it. So right here, what this is looking for is a new lead to be created or the postal code has been changed. Now, what we want to do is we want to remove this criteria. We want this flow to fire irregardless of a new record being created or the zip code changing. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the connections between these elements, and we're just going to say, hey, when the lead is edited, send it directly to the subflow, because then what the subflow does is it looks up the zip code in the postal code county table, and it finds the county and updates it on the lead record. So we will do a save as. We'll do a save. And this is just telling you that, hey, you have something on your canvas that's not connected, and that's totally okay. We'll click activate. And now what we need to do is we need to run an update on all of our lead records in Salesforce. So what we will do is we'll use Data Loader for this. We're going to run an export on our leads that have a zip code. You can select whichever columns you want to export. I am just going to do ID and the postal code. And then I'm just going to add to my query here that I want to make sure that you only pull out the leads that have a zip code. So postal code is not equal to blank. All right, so I've got 103. And now all I need to do is run an update using that same file. And I just map the ID. I will hit next. Before I run this, let me get you a visual on this. Let's go ahead and create a list view. So we can see that the county doesn't have a value and then it does have a value. So I'm going to add county to this list view here. Okay, we can see the county is blank on all of these records. Let's also put the zip code in here too, so we can see that. Okay, so we can see these have a zip code, but they don't have a county. And we should have about 100 records in here. So that should be a good test to make sure that it's working. All right, so we're going to go ahead and run this update. I only need to map the ID. I don't need to map the postal code because I just need to trigger an update to these records. Okay, it says 103 successful updates. Let's refresh this and we should see the county populate on every single one. And we do. So it looks like some of them are missing. So that means that these zip codes do not exist in our file. And we need to manually add those. So that is definitely something that you'll want to check after you've run your import to make sure that you have all the zip codes that you need in your file. We just had a small subset of the zip codes, so I didn't expect all of them to update anyways. All right, so now what we're going to do is go back to our flow. And I'm going to go and delete this second version that I created. So we'll deactivate it. We will delete it. And then we'll click activate on the original. So that's how you run the mass update to records. You would do the same exact thing for your accounts and contacts. You would come to your the account flow here. You would open this one up. And then we would connect the start element directly to our subflow. Do a save as. Remember, this is okay. It's just saying that we have an element that's not connected. We'll click activate. And then we will, let's go do a list view again so that we can see. Okay, so let's do select fields to display, billing county, and billing zip. So we would expect anything with a zip code is going to get the county updated correctly. All right, so let's go ahead and run our export. And it's going to be an export on the account. And then I'm going to only export the ID as well as the billing zip code. And then I want to filter for only the accounts that have a billing zip code. So billing postal code is not equal to blank. Okay, so I've got that file. Now we just run an update. I only need to map my ID. Okay, and all those were updated. So now I can refresh my table here. And I have seen the county update based on the zip code. So it doesn't matter if your data is inconsistent in your state because it's all based on the zip code. Now, one other thing, let's make sure that we do this. Let's go back and make sure that we put our flow back to the way it was. So I'm going to deactivate the new version I created. I will delete it and click activate here. All right, so now the contacts are the only thing that's left. So you're just going to do the same exact thing on the contacts that we did for our leads and accounts. Now, one thing I do want to mention, if you do have a zip code that has a dash and then the last 4 digits of the zip code, that's okay. This package is configured to only pull the first 5 digits of the zip code value. Well, that's it. That's a wrap. You've just successfully installed and configured the Update County with Postal Code Automation package in your Salesforce org. So now you can start leveraging the county value for segmentations. Maybe you're assigning sales rep territory based on that value. So hopefully this helped you out a lot. If you like this video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Blue Tiger Academy so you don't miss the next amazing package that we build. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.